Hi YouTube, welcome to another PGR character spotlight video. Today we are going to look at two characters, Bianca and Watanabe. They are both A rank constructs and very much different in playstyles. For a start, one is range and the other is melee. Now we are going to go through all their basics, so if you like the content like this, do consider clicking on the like button as it will really contribute to getting the video out there for more awesome people like you. Alright, let's get right into the video. Now first up is gonna be the Russian waifu here. Initially I thought she's some bishop or cleric type character giving the tall hat that really looks holy-ish. Upon closer inspection, don't ask, I realized that the hat is furry and very much looks like a Ushanka or Cossack. Whichever it is. Anyways, back to the topic. She is an attacker and is pure physical damage. Strong single attack target and is able to shorten the cooldown of her signature move, which can be seen as her ultimate skill. Now gauge below shows strong single target and burst ratings. She uses a bow for her weapon, and looking at her orb skills, starting with her red orb point shooting, shoots arrows based on number of pings, one arrow for each additional ping. Very straightforward skill. Next, her yellow orb wing shot shoots out arrows in a fan-shaped manner in front of her and recovers energy for her ultimate. It seems like the energy recovered is also based on how many enemies hit. I'm not 100% certain here, but anyone who knows it, do let me know in the comment section down below so we can all learn as a community. Appreciate that. Moving on to her blue orb, bow draw. Now this buffs her basic attack as it will allow them to draw out additional arrows. About the numbers here, it means that with one ping, every hit will draw out one arrow. And up to 7 arrows can be drawn out within this 4 seconds. You want this skill to be up most of the time, and having higher pings is probably the way to go. Active skill wise, basic attack shoots 9 arrows, so if you one ping the blue orb, it will only draw out additional 7 arrows instead of 9. Now her signature move is only 60 energy and it fires arrows at an area. Later you'll see how this synergizes with another of her skill. Her QTE is her coming out and doing 5 critical hits on the enemy. This is kind of unique, with her focusing on crits and crit damage. She also has Attacker and Ultima Awaken. Now about her passive skills, Quiver of Mercy is her core passive. After having any 3 pings, she will store up an arrow. She can store up to 3 arrows and they will be fired upon using her signature move, dealing more damage. That's something to pay attention to if you want a harder hitting ultimate. Her leader skill, Eliminator, increases crit damage of all party members. So yeah, crit is kinda her thing. Resolution increases her basic attack damage, which is fair as she does depend quite a bit on her basic attacks. Ruthless increases quite a big amount of her crit damage, that is really nice. And lastly, Decisiveness, more damage on her signature move. Now I kinda wanna know how big her ultimate does with this passive. 3 arrows stored and dealing crits. Now that's something to think about for sure. Up until now, she doesn't seem to have a requirement to combo different colored orbs, but mainly on maintaining buffs and getting arrows for her ultimate spams. Now we'll see a little bit more of her in combat. Her autos, as you can see here, have a pretty far range. So maintaining a good grasp of the distance between her and the enemy will allow you to kite enemies better. Her autos have 4 animations. First one does 1 hit followed by 2 and then 4 arrows. Last hit does a big 1 hit, so total of 9 hits as described in her tooltip. Red orb is a straight up arrow shot. Number of arrows depend on the number of pings. You can see the arrows stored after 3 pinging her below. The yellow orb is a fan-shaped split arrow shot in front of her, and as you can see the arrow flying back at her, that recharges her ultimate. Now the blue orb powers up her basic attacks. You can see she does a lot more hits there. The more blue pings, the stronger her basic attacks get. Now I have 3 arrows stored up for her. Let's see her ultimate. Now it's a very swift hit. Seems like it's pretty weak. Not many shots, but trust me, it hurts and there's many hits in there. Looking at it in slow-mo, it took out the bot's 5 life bars in a quick second. Given that she only needs 60 energy for her ultimate, just with a few shots and a 3 ping yellow after 1 ultimate, it's back up again. Now if you like fast-paced, straight-up damage with ultimate spamming style, she is so for you. Saving up yellow orbs to charge her ultimate, and using blues to buff her autos, and reds for bursts, her style revolves around effectively using her skills and focusing on ultimates, and not so much on chaining certain orb sequences like other characters. Unique and action-packed indeed. Now let's get into an actual battle. Okay, so here we go. Right, yellow to get more ultimate. I probably should use a blue orb over there. Yeah, blue orbs so I get more auto attack damage. And my ultimate is up. Oh shit, I should have used the ultimate first. Oof. Oh, where did my ultimates go? Okay, there might be a bug there. Right, buffing her auto. Oof. Buffing her auto attack. 3 ping, my ultimate is up. Okay, this time let's not miss. Come on. Alright, it's a hit. It's a direct hit. Okay, we won. We won. Yeah, she does pretty good damage for her skills and straight up damage basically. Okay, anyways. Alright, that's it for Bianca. Now for the silver haired husbando Watanabe. Now I couldn't tell just by looking at him, but he uses daggers. How cool is that? And assassin type, attacker type, also a pure physical damage dealer, and a strong single target attacker. His backstab, which deals extra damage when hitting the enemy's back. Very similar to Bianca earlier, the gauge here says that he's harder to use though. Now let's take a look at his orb skills. Now red orb black Sakura launches a 4-hit combo in front of him, dealing damage based on the number of pings. Now 3 ping also releases an extra blow. Yellow orb shadow thrust. Thrusts forward and pierces enemies along the path, so everything along the path gets hit and the damage is based on the number of pings as usual. This is also there is also an additional hit if it's a 3 ping. Now blue orb bloodshed pierces through the target with his blade, and there is a second move where he pulls his blade out. It is guaranteed to crit if it's done behind the enemy. So it's actually a 2-hit skill that he does a quick jab and pulls out his dagger. And you also want to do it behind the enemy so they will land as crits too. Now moving on to his active skills, we have his basic attack. Nothing really special here except his damage is pretty good. Signature move, okay. My eyes are not playing a trick. It is 1500 damage. So we'll get to see that later on in combat. So QTE does physical damage. Okay. Attacker skill and Ultima Awaken. Next we have his passive skills, Fleeting Phantom, which is core passive. The final strike of each 3 ping marks the enemy. Now he unleashes an attack after 2 marks are stacked. Now the clone lasts 5 seconds and attacks once for each basic attack. Okay, it sounds confusing. Now probably the wordings are out of place. I'm gonna try to break it down for you guys. Basically, after marking an enemy twice, he summons a clone for 5 seconds, which attacks once with each of his basic attack. You will see more of this later on in the video. Now his leader skill increases crit rate of the party if they are in 3 different classes, meaning tank and a healer has to be used. That will also mean that he's gonna be the only attacker in the team. Next we have sneak attack. That increases his damage when attacking from the back. Now Phantom Response increases his damage when a clone is present. And lastly, No Life Lost is a passive that decreases enemies' physical resistance for 10 seconds after being hit by his ultimate. So there's a lot of things going on around here. So let's get into battle and see if we can get a better grasp of what it's about. We know about the 2-3 pings marks on an enemy, and that creates an energy clone. Now yellow orb pierces through the enemy, and that gets him behind the enemy. Attacking enemies from the back deals more damage, so that is one of his core playstyle of constantly finding opportunities to get behind the enemy to deal backstab damage. So we see here is a combo of the pierce and then followed by a blue orb which does 2 hits, and that will crit if it hits behind the enemy. Alright, starting from his basic attacks. Now this is what it looks like, pretty cool with some flying daggers too. Now I also like his dodge animation, which seems like a teleport. Now let's try out his combo. Yellow and blue, boom! The yellow numbers signifies crit damage. Okay, now to test out his 2-3 pings. So you can see it is like a shadow over him, and it hits a hit for every basic attack. You'll probably want to fully use basic attacks when this procs. And also you can dash behind targets instead of dashing away or to the sides usually. So it's a really aggressive gameplay. Now his ultimate, you can see a whirlwind slashes around him, pretty awesome. I would say for Watanabe, positioning is really important, and on top of that, finding the right moments to get behind enemies to deal the juicy backstab damage opens up a lot of cool gameplay. He does seem to be of a higher skill cap, as there's not only the backstab element but also combos, and 3 pings to take note of. Even more so during hectic fights, and especially during those hectic fights with multiple enemies. It might be hard to master this slippery character. Now if you're looking for someone high skill cap and cool to play, then he might be the one for you. Now let's get into a boss fight and see how I fail. Okay. Alright, let me try this again.
A few moments later.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I spent more than 15 minutes replaying this fight, and seriously, the most tries I've done for any character. But when I gotten used to him, he's one of the most engaging and satisfying characters to watch. His yellow orb is like an additional dodge while still being on the offense, and it feels like I'm constantly on his back. Now I hope that this video showed you a good glimpse of Watanabe and of course Bianca. They are both crit based characters that utilizes on different mechanics to maximize their damage, and have unique skills to very much differentiate themselves from other characters. Now if you have enjoyed the content or found it useful, do drop a like, as it will really help in the YouTube algorithm, and for more of such videos, considering subscribing to my channel. Thank you for the support so far, and with that said, see you in the next one. This is Xez here, and I'm signing out.